Hello my friends, today I'm doing a special review because it's not a new model but a revisit of a very old one, but I hope you'll still enjoy it. I started this channel almost 10 years ago during a low period of my life, and this statue was kept in a box for the longest time without seeing the light of day. I was finally able to open and review this statue for my 10th video. And I thought it would be nice to revisit this exactly 100 videos after that with better lighting, better camera, and hopefully better English, and to introduce it to those of you too young to remember it. Now this is the T-Rex vs Triceratops diorama from the now extinct Sideshow Dinosauria line. Besides still being a really fine example of a quality dinosaur statue, it holds a special place for me. You see, one of my earliest images of dinosaurs was that perennial struggle between Tyrannosaur and Ceratopsian. Often it's T-Rex versus Triceratops, as you see here in one of my earliest books from 1981. That's 40 years ago. Yes, I'm dating myself here. And here's another book that influenced me greatly, Dr. Robert Barker's The Dinosaur Heresies, featuring Ceratosaurus versus a Tyrannosaur, possibly a Gorgosaurus. So this statue is a 3D representation of that classic battle. Well, speaking of dating, this diorama was released, I believe, in 2009, so I won't be commenting on the anatomy through a modern-day lens. So nothing about lips, feathers, scalation, and so on. It would make as much sense as criticizing this beautiful iguanodon by Zdenek. Let's just admire this work for what it is, a beautiful, dynamic, and for its time, accurate reconstruction of two iconic dinosaurs. First, the scale. Compared to the Triceratops, the T-Rex seems a little small, and that's because, according to Sideshow, this is a sub-adult. So we'll use the Triceratops. Assuming a fully grown Triceratops of 8 meters, about 26 feet, this measures about 40 centimeters or 15.5 inches, so I'd say the scale is about 1 to 20. This was my first ever high-end statue, and the detail and paintwork is still an absolute delight. It's hard to absorb all at once, so let's take it one dinosaur at a time. First, the T-Rex. Now the head is always the focal point, and what a head it is. It's extremely scaly without the keratinization we commonly see today. Now we've talked about how the 1 to 35th scale dinosaurs really shouldn't show too much scale detail. Well, at 1 to 20th scale, a whole vista of realistic possibilities opens up. You see these osteoderms here on the side of the snout. Increasing in size up the lacrimal and beyond. Surrounding the eye sockets. And just this small area, you see a wealth of differentiation. Now look at these minuscule scales in the skin overlying the laterotemporal, and the antorbital fenestrae. We're talking super tiny. On the margins of the mouth, and again just in this one small area, you have so much variation, color blends and color interplay. Notice this old scar here, filled with scar tissue, perhaps from a previous kill or facial biting with a rifle. And look at the mandible now, again with a different texture. With these raised scales, possibly some osteoderms. And you see here the glistening of the gummy pseudo-cheeks, with even the suggestion of the surface blood vessels underneath. Now go check your own gums in the mirror and appreciate how realistic they look. The teeth are individually sculpted, stained with blood. And just look at the detail of the tongue with all its papillae. And if I just lift this up here, now you can see all these blood stains as well as the detail in the palate. And this would go completely unnoticed unless you lifted it up just as I just did with much effort and actually looked. It just shows the meticulous attention to detail, a sense of pride in the artist. Now the golden eye is also very well painted on both sides. And in the body, you can see it's equally well painted with so much complexity of color and layering. You know, I love skin color that looks like pigmentation, and this T-Rex has plenty of it. Such subtle shifts in the color within the browns, the bronzes, the rust red. I can't describe it adequately and can only hope the camera picks it all up for you to see. Notice the osteoderms running down from the head to the neck. Just the skin texture down the body, the flanks having a different kind of osteoderm, a little bit rounder compared to these elongate ones. And if we go down to the feet, just look at the detail on the underside, the foot and toe pads. And if we look at the top side, it is very bird-like with these reticulate scales and just looks amazing to me. Now as for the arms, I've always been really particular with these tiny arms in T-Rex. And here the whole humerus is exposed, something you might not be used to if you have only PNSO's latest T-Rex, where this area is completely covered by muscle, which is a look I actually prefer. So that's it for the T-Rex and for part 1. I'll be back soon with part 2 and the Triceratops. See you soon.